City of Berkeley has been flying the Tibetan flag on March 10th since 1996. And it is a simple but strong statement of the City of Berkeley's support for the Tibetan people and the Tibetan cause. The religious repression and political persecution that has been epidemic in the Tibetan region, has raised serious concerns about human rights, environmental degradation, and just mistreatment of the Tibetan people. So I think the City of Berkeley is taking this very simple gesture to show support and solidarity, to try to help educate people that this cause, what this cause is and why it is important, and to give support and encouragement to the Tibetan people. How huge a leadership role Gail McLaughlin is playing in the Bay Area. As the mayor of Richmond, she has turned Richmond, with the help of allies and friends, she has turned Richmond into a beacon of progressive progress, helping the people of Richmond and supporting important causes like the Tibetan cause. So it's very touching to me that she takes time out of her. And when she was term limited out as mayor, people were like, oh, thank God, we're going to be rid of her. She's always raising so many issues and making us do so much. And she turned convention on its head and said, well, you haven't seen the last of me yet. And so she ran for city council, and now we still have her as an elected official, and she's still plowing an incredible role of leadership. So when she comes up here, please give an incredibly warm round of appreciation for Gail McLaughlin. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chris. Next we have Mrs. Gail McLaughlin, a former mayor of Richmond City and the present council member. Mrs. Gail, please.
For me as a representative of Richmond to show my solidarity with all of you for this great struggle that you all wage day in and day out. And it was such a privilege when His Holiness the Dalai Lama came to the Bay Area that he came to Richmond. It was such a joy to have him speak at the Tibetan Association of Northern California Community Center, which we have in Richmond, another great tribute for our city to house, and to have the Dalai Lama come and speak and do a ceremony, and just to have that wonderful, wonderful feeling of peace and freedom and guidance that he gave to us all that day was a joy for me and my community. People still talk about that wonderful day that we experienced in Richmond. And like I said, we're so honored to have the Tibetan Community Center in Richmond. It's just a place, of course, for the Tibetan culture and Tibetan education to flourish, but it's also a place for all cultures to come together. I always enjoyed the conversations I've had with leaders of Tank who have talked about the Peace Garden at the community center as a place for all religions and cultures to come together.
Representative of Congressman Lee, Chris, Mayor Gail, council member, old friends and supporters of Tibet, and members of the Tibetan community in Northern California. It's a deep honor to be here representing the Office of Tibet and His Holiness the Dalai Lama and participating in today's 56th anniversary of the Tibetan National Uprising Day. So today our thoughts and prayers go out to all those who have suffered and sacrificed their lives for Tibet, and for all those who continue to suffer under Chinese repression and occupation in Tibet. Extreme measures such as self-immolation. What are their demands and aspirations? Tibetans are self-immolating because they're saying enough is enough. They can't take any more of the Chinese government's policies of political repression, religious suppression, economic marginalization. 6 decades of harsh Chinese government policies have completely alienated Tibetans in Tibet. They long to see their beloved leader, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, return to Tibet.
In Richmond, and let's continue to work together for peace and freedom for all. Thank you.
Lastly, Beijing has not made any serious efforts to restart the dialogue process with representatives of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan leadership. The process has been stalled since January 2010. However, as grim as the situation inside Tibet is, Tibetans are persevering. The Tibetans I would also, on behalf of the Office of Tibet and the Central Tibetan Administration, take this opportunity to thank the City of Berkeley, the city and the people of Berkeley, because for all these years, they have given us the opportunity to assemble here and commemorate this very important day. Many Tibetans live here in the city, live as good, law-abiding residents of Berkeley, but Tibetan Americans also have a very important responsibility, a responsibility to represent the hopes and aspirations of 6 million Tibetans everywhere. Just this past week, we witnessed another Tibetan, a woman from Amdo Ngaba, committing self-immolation. Nochugla is the first Tibetan to commit self-immolation this year, and she joins 136 other Tibetans who have self-immolated since 2009. Let us all unite and work together in ensuring that 47-year-old Nochugla's sacrifice and the sacrifices of all the other Tibetans
Tenzin Chorak died 2 days after he was released on medical parole, 9 years short of the completion of his 15-year prison term. In fact, he was barely alive at the time when he returned to his family. Chorak had reportedly dislocated jaw
being revoked. Spies and informants are everywhere. Monasteries and nunneries are tightly controlled. Artists, intellectuals, and officials with less body are being arrested. Nomads who once freely roamed the vast Tibetan grasslands and as ancient stewards of maintaining that fragile balance of human and environment to carry out the struggle for another 50+ years if necessary. The goals, Tibetans under the leadership and guidance of His Holiness the Dalai Lama have steadfastly committed to pursuing a cause peacefully, non-violently, and through dialogue.
Thank you, Mr. Gill.
เธอจะ